Hey guys, how's it going? So in Star Wars, we've got a bunch of different species, ranging from Hutts, Jawas, Ithorians, Twi'leks, Gamorreans, you name it, we got it. Each has their own pros and cons as a species, but today's question I'm asking is who was the most terrifying? Now, there are a lot of various species that can take this title, so for today's video, we've gathered a list of the top 5 most dangerous and downright chilling in the Star Wars galaxy. So, without further ado, let's begin. In the number 5 place, you can look no further than the Aberson symbiote. This was an alien species that fed on the brainstem of sentient life. In order to be subdued, they had to be fed into a plasma furnace to be kept at bay. However, this wasn't easy, and over the course of galactic history, they were responsible for the destruction of many different empires, forcing Palpatine to actually ban them from his new galactic empire. The Aberson crawled up your body and injected a long, thin needle into the upper part of your neck, right where the spine and brainstem meet. And in doing so, it would turn the victim completely insane. In the canon Star Wars Marvel comics, Luke and Dr. Aphra actually run into this deadly species on the planet Kalath Atan, where they face the evil queen of the planet who actually possessed a humanoid through using the dark side power, Force Drain. Eventually, Luke and Aphra fell prey to the queen, which forced Han and Leia to mount a rescue mission to save them. This mission goes awry, and Han too ends up falling prey to the Aberson, where he is completely and quickly infected and ends up going rogue. Turning evil, he joins the Queen's forces and tries to kill Leia during their escape. Leia ends up kicking Han where it hurts, quickly subduing him to the ground. The symbiotes also infect this Wookiee bounty hunter named Black, who destroys the Queen's heavily armed guards and then goes for Luke Skywalker as a means of unleashing his full potential. This species is downright chilling because of their gross looks and symbiotic traits. They were parasites that destroyed entire empires, which definitely earns them a spot on this list. Number 4 goes to some of the most deadliest Jedi killers in the galaxy, the Anzat, or Anzati species. Now, the Anzati species were a very powerful and dangerous humanoid species who were attuned in the ways of the Force. They weren't necessarily bound by the Sith Code. However, they definitely weren't light side users either. They were often considered mythical and to be nothing but the things of dark legends and folktales. However, for a long period of time, the true location of their home world was unknown, being a complete and utter mystery. Scientists and explorers who traveled the galaxy to find it simply couldn't, while the ones who were rumored to have discovered it merely disappeared, without a single trace. This species possessed 2 tentacle-like whiskers that dangled from each cheek, and these probes are what they used to feed on the brains of their prey. These guys were ancient, with the ability to regenerate much beyond that of an average human. They could dominate their opponent's mind, granting them the chance to feed on their brains and soul. When they fed on the brain, these creatures would call it soup. Now this soup was allegedly the future, and through it, the Force. So in essence, they would drink the Force for food. And it was through this that they ate the minds of Jedi and Force users alike, strengthening their connection with the Force. The Anzati are outright bone-chilling for their ability to feed on the living Force and destroy Jedi with utter ease, which for sure grants them a seat on this council. Coming in at number 3, we have the Star Weirds. Found only in space, the Star Weirds were a species of incorporeal humanoids. Tall and gaunt, they possess long, sharp talons, wild white hair, and glowing eyes. These creatures appeared to travelers repairing their starships in space or aboard vessels traveling through hyperspace. A Star Weird would choose a target and after being spotted emit a telepathic scream that caused fear in most individuals. They would then attack its victim. Star Weirds were powerful creatures capable of using the Force and held a strong hatred for Force users, leading some Jedi to believe that they were apparitions created by the dark side of the Force. During the time of the first conflict fought between the Galactic Republic and the reconstructed Sith Empire, Jedi Master Wilet saved his Padawan Zerender and many members of the Jedi Council from a famous Star Weird known as the Star Weird Queen. Due to their telepathic nature, their screams could be heard even in the vacuum of space, which often caused listeners to cower in fear or attempt to flee. Some individuals were actually able to overcome their terror and fight back, but most of the time, after issuing the shriek, the powerful creature would set upon its foe, shredding them to pieces with its sharp claws. This species sends chills up anyone's spine, not only with its terrifying physique, but the horrors they committed deep within unknown space. Number 2 goes to one of the most vicious creatures in Star Wars legends, the Sith Lord's Hounds, or also known as the Ducata. These monsters were originally latent and calm creatures that became subjected to the dark side through force manipulation and Sith alchemy. This unlocked a dormant part of their primal brains, which turned them into brilliant, monstrous Sith hounds. They were extremely smart, growing to be bigger than actual werewolves. These were wild beasts, bred to be fearless and relentless at whatever their target was. They were bred to watch and guard the Sith tombs on Korriban, the resting place for all the ancient and most powerful Sith Lords who haunted the site. Their distinctive characteristics included sharp horns, long claws, and sharp teeth. In some random unexplained cases, certain Ducata were able to live for centuries, almost as if they were immortal. And with their growing age, they also grew equally in size, becoming larger than one could even fathom, until seen before their very eyes. The only notable beings to have been able to kill these creatures were Revan, who was able to kill one of them and take a holocron from its stomach, Exar Kun, and Darth Bane. The Ducata also possessed poisonous stingers that protruded from atop their shoulders. The poison acts on contact, numbing the flesh as it touches it, and then, when injected into a being's body, the poison shuts down muscles and other vital systems, including the heart and lungs, leading to a quick and painful death. By the time of the Empire, nobody actually knew if this species was still around, or if they went extinct, or even still loyal to the Sith way of life. Or perhaps they wait patiently and hungry for those who dare to enter the Valley of the Dark Lords. This species was downright terrifying for their extremely imposing and physical structure, as well as their inherent immortal genetics, which is why they earn a spot in this video. Now, number 1 is the Mengal Mengal, whose origins are so shrouded in mystery that it isn't even considered a species, but rather simply just extra-dimensional in nature. Mengal Mengal was a being composed solely of a thick gray ooze, able to move quickly and create a multitude of different forms. It was slimy to the touch and smelled of sweet rot. While it was a shapeshifter, it could not form the complex disguises of species like the Shi'idu, but its abilities were still versatile. It would form far-ranging pseudopods and eye stalks to explore or interact with others, or attack others with a fanged mouth. It could break its mass apart, spreading by creating worm-like forms, and was even able to fly by forming bat-like creatures. What made this creature so utterly terrifying, however, was its most prolific and deadly form of movement, which was infecting and controlling other sentient beings. While it could possess creatures such as Nexu or Banthas, Mengal Mengal preferred sentience, and once a potential victim was in its sights, it went to work quickly. Once a being encountered a pool of Mengal Mengal, the surface of the pool would explode outward, showering the being in droplets of the entity's body. The drops would then begin to slide towards the being's mouth and nostrils, but was also able to enter the body through the pores in a being's skin if need be. It would first penetrate the cranium and digest the brain, then move on to the internal organs and tissues, increasing its mass all the while. It digested its victims from the inside out, filling every body part as it expanded and grew within the lifeless husk. Within 24 hours, the victim was dead, filled entirely with Mengal Mengal. At a long-forgotten point in the past, it had taken over and rendered lifeless the planet of Mug Fallow. Eons later, Mengal Mengal spread so far across the planet, even filling its former oceans, making it so that all remained visible of the former world were barren continents and remains of fossil trees. Its body ran so far and so deep across the planet that it ran in rivers across the continents and filled underground grottos. As testament to its depraved mind, Mengal Mengal created a macabre decoration of a fleet of derelict ships, forming a ring around the planet, their origins ranging across millennia. Mengal Mengal used its mind-controlled zombies to pilot the ships there, with grease sail ships and a treasure barge once belonging to the Zim V deposit among the lifeless fleet. This species is downright terrifying, for its only desire was nothing more than control, and subsequently sought to spread its body and influence over as many worlds as possible. If possible, it would destroy entire planets as it had with Mug Fallow. But the idle amusement of torturing and killing other sentients was entertaining as well, which is why it earns itself the #1 spot on this list. So, with the end of this top 5, what is your favorite species, or the species that terrifies you the most? Let us know down below in the comments, and maybe whatever gets the most likes, then I'll cover a video about that too. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next episode of Star Wars Remnants. Until next time, our fellow Jedi Knights and Sith Lords, remember, the Force will be with you always.